Hello, and welcome to the 4th episode of Season 12 of The Dark Money Files, in which we shine a light into a murky world. I am Ray Blake, and with me is my co-host, friend and business partner, Graham Barrow. Hello, Graham.
Hello, Ray.
We're deep in conference season, and one of the keynote pieces we developed, we recently presented at the FRC Leaders Convention in the Cotswolds.
We did, and if you were there, you'll be wondering how we can recreate it without slides, but well, I reckon we can do it justice.
We can. And we've also got some further detail that's emerged subsequently. So whether you were with us or not, you'll get value from this.
Yes, and the thing I particularly love about this case study is that we found this network using Risk Alert 247, Ray.
We did. It's the best way to guard against rogue UK corporate entities using the financial system to commit financial crime. Banks and payment firms are incorporating it in both their onboarding and investigations workstreams, where it's saving millions in fraud losses.
Yes, and that is not hype, is it, Ray? We have actual numbers from clients to back that claim up.
Yeah, now we love showing people what the system can do. This episode is one example, and we'd be delighted to provide an online demonstration to any firm that wants to clean up their UK corporate business.
Yes, so we called this case study Trigger Warning, Ray.
We did, Graham, and later we'll share why, but let's keep it mysterious for now.
OK then.
So join us, listeners, on a typical street in Kentish Town, North London.
Yes, it was originally a small settlement on the River Fleet. Kentish Town is part of Sir Keir Starmer's constituency, and for those of you who don't know, he's the Prime Minister, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I know. And its name is thought to be derived from Ken Ditch or Carn Ditch, meaning the bed of a waterway.
We live and learn, Graham.
We really do. But what interests us is one house on this street, 56 Lady Somerset Road. It's a mid-terrace house, a townhouse over 3 floors, featuring some nice bay windows on the first 2 floors.
There's very little to distinguish it from its neighbouring houses, with one exception, and we'll come back to that later.
We will. In January and February of this year, this house became the focus of a strange set of company incorporations. Started on the 2nd of January with a company called Selectura Limited.
And what was strange about that one, Graham?
One odd thing was that the director was Iranian but living in Malaysia.
We don't see many Iranians incorporating UK companies, do we, Graham?
Not that many, Ray. No, we don't.
And what sort of company is Selectura? The name doesn't really seem indicative of a particular type of business.
Now, this is interesting. When you set up a company, you can list up to 4 standard industry classification codes, or SIC codes as they're known. The company was greedy because it used all 4.
And what were they?
Well, the first one is 46190, agents involved in the sale of a variety of goods.
Which in itself covers a fair amount of activity.
Well, there's a case to say it covers pretty much all activities.
Well, yeah.
But there you go. Yes, but there are 3 more. So not just wanting to sell a variety of goods, they want to sell 47540, retail sale of electrical or household appliances in specialised stores. And then there's also 47710, retail sale of clothing in specialised stores. And finally, there's 4776, retail sale of flowers, plants, seeds, fertilisers, pet animals and pet food in specialised stores.
Now, that's an odd mix, you'd think.
You would, but 5 days later, on the 7th of January, we have two more firms that look very similar being established at the same address.
Yeah, again, they're registered at 56 Lady Somerset Road. One is Dr. Zodi Limited, and that seems to be named after its director, an Iranian again, but this time living in Switzerland. And then with Parsap Limited, we're back to a seemingly random company name. Iranian director again, though, this time in Germany.
Crucially, though, these companies have used exactly the same set of SIC codes that we saw before. And just in case you thought this might in any case be coincidental, every company we will tell you about from now on has the same 4 SIC code combination.
The same 4. And how many of those are there, Graham?
By the end of February, Ray, we have 48 of them.
48 companies all squeezed into that little house in Kentish Town.
Yes, Ray, and all of them using that same odd combination of SIC codes.
And more weirdly, all having Iranian directors.
But not based in Iran, Ray.
No, they're all spread across 6 different countries.
Which are?
Germany, Italy, Malaysia, New Zealand, Poland and Switzerland.
What, none in the UK?
Nope, and none in Iran.
We kept coming back to those SIC codes, though, because it's such an odd combination, isn't it?
It is, and we can put it in context and show just how unusual it is. Over the period in question, that's the first 2 months of 2025, we looked at how many UK incorporations had used each of those codes, either on its own or as one of several. Here's what we found.
We found that there were nearly 1,200 new 46190 agents involved in the sale of a variety of goods. I mean, the nature of that SIC code means that mostly these companies only had that single SIC code.
There were 259 companies using the SIC code of 47540, retail sale of electrical household appliances in specialised stores.
There were 1,500 plus new companies using 47710, retail sale of clothing in specialised stores, and I guess it's a popular business model.
And finally, there were 366 new companies using 47760, retail sale of flowers, plants, seeds, fertilisers, pet animals and pet food in specialised stores, although how specialised I suppose is debatable in that case.
Yeah, so then we wondered how many had used all 4 SIC codes at the same time, and the answer was not very many. In fact, it was 70 altogether.
Just 70?
Yes, and remarkably, all of them have Iranian directors, and as we've seen, 48 of them were registered to that one house at 56 Lady Somerset Road.
OK, so that leaves just 22 that weren't registered there. Where were they registered then?
Great question, Ray, and here's the answer. 10 of them were at various addresses in London, and one of those addresses is particularly interesting.
Oh?
Yeah, it's 58 Lady Somerset Road.
Not 56?
No, Ray, it's next door.
Do we think that's a typo?
Oh, I think that's quite possible, yeah.
OK, so that's 10 of them. There's one in Southampton too, and there are 6 in Leighton Buzzard.
And I love those addresses too. 3 of them are at number 2 Dingle Dell. Who wouldn't want to live in Dingle Dell? And 3 more are at 39 Redwood Glade.
Oh, they sound idyllic, don't they?
You do. And that leaves just 5.
And they're all in Cardiff.
In Cardiff, you say, Ray?
You'd imagine at residential addresses, wouldn't you?
Well, you might imagine that, but the answer is no, they're not. They're all at the company's house default address in Cardiff.
Now, if a company's address is shown at the company's house default address, that means there's a problem with the address it was originally registered at, doesn't it?
It does, Ray. Typically, it's going to be someone else's address, and the people who actually live there have objected, and their property's been removed from the registry listing.
So the company's house default address is just a sort of holding address until the company can provide a new, real one that they're actually entitled to use. Or more likely, that doesn't happen and the company is struck off after a while.
Yes, So 5 of these companies have been defaulted in this way to the company's house address.
And do we know where they were initially registered?
Well, it's an interesting question because you can't tell from the register itself anymore. But at Risk Alert, we can often find out. And in this case, I'm going to say the answer was quite a surprise.
Go on.
All 5 of them were initially registered at 40 Lady Somerset Road in Kentish Town, just along the street from number 56.
And number 58.
Yeah, and number 58 too.
Well, I mean, that's just staggering.
Well, it's about staggering distance, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's not all, Ray. On the other side of the world, there's a similar clustering effect.
Tell me more about that.
Well, do you remember that a number of our Iranian directors were based in New Zealand?
I do.
Well, most of them lived in a small town to the west of Christchurch called Rolleston. Several live at different numbers on the same street, and I'd say that the same paperboy could find themselves delivering to at least 7 of the 10 addresses.
So, 7 Iranians living just around the corner from one another have set up businesses in the same house on the other side of the world, selling T-shirts, toasters and tomato plants.
Nice alliteration, Ray. Yeah. Yes, they say it's a small world, and sometimes, well, you can see the point.
Yeah. So back to Kentish Town and to 56 Lady Somerset Road. We mentioned there was an interesting feature of this house in particular.
Yes, there is a blue plaque.
What are blue plaques about?
Good question. They highlight properties where notable people once lived. I have one round the corner from me with Vincent van Gogh's name on it because he lived in Isleworth for a year teaching art.
Okay.
So that means that if Isaac Newton or Agatha Christie once lived in a house, you'll often see it's decorated with a blue plaque commemorating the fact.
Yeah, if you Google blue plaque, you'll see lots of examples.
You will, and 56 Somerset Road then, Ray, has such a plaque.
It does, Graham.
And who lived there, Ray?
Between 1987 and his death in 2014, this was the home of the actor Roger Lloyd Pack.
Roger Lloyd Pack. Why do I know that name, Ray?
Well, our younger listeners will probably know him best from the Harry Potter films, in which he played the role of Barty Crouch Sr.
David Tennant's dad, I think.
That's right, yeah. Those who are a little older will remember him from The Vicar of Dibley, where he was Owen Newitt.
Owen Newitt, yes. But if you're our age, which is slightly older than that, you'll know him best as Trigger from Only Fools and Horses.
And that's highly relevant. From our experience of similar networks, we're fairly sure that this network exists to enable sales in the UK on online marketplace platforms as third-party sellers. Those platforms will charge VAT on top of the prices, and they'll pass that additional money on to the third-party sellers, who are then expected to pass that tax money on to HMRC themselves. But they won't do that. They'll just keep the money.
If we're right about them, they will file no accounts and they will end up being struck off in about 18 months' time, by which time they'll have escaped a large amount of UK VAT on their sales, as well as the corporation tax due on their profits.
All of which made us think of the outro music from Only Fools and Horses and the words that were put to it. Do you remember them, Graham?
I do, Ray. Should we do this together?
Yeah, go on then. 2, 3. No income tax, no VAT, no money back, no guarantee.
I mean, it does seem rather apposite, doesn't it?
And that's where we left the story when we presented it. 70 companies all formed in January and February in that network.
But since then, we've seen some more, haven't we?
We have, Graham. Since the end of February, we've seen another 22 of them.
Same 4 SIC codes, Ray, all with Iranian directors around the globe?
Yep.
And where are they being registered to, Ray?
All to familiar addresses, Graham. By the end of February, there were 3 of these companies at 18A Frederick Street in Clerkenwell. There have been another 6 since, so that address now boasts 9 of these companies.
OK, where else?
Now, you'll remember 39 Redwood Glade in Leighton Buzzard.
Oh, I can still see the trees and the grass and the meadows. I mean, how could I forget it?
That's gained a further 6 as well, so there are now 9 at that address too.
And what about the pack, if I can use that expression, at 56 Lady Somerset Road?
Well, that's where all the other 10 have been registered. It's now home to 58 of these identikit network companies all by itself.
Now, when you incorporate in the UK, letters start to arrive, don't they?
They do, Graham. Some from Companies House and some from all sorts of business service providers who market their services to newly incorporated companies.
Yeah, from personal experience, I reckon you can expect about 10 letters to come through your door in the first couple of months after you form a company.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So that means that the letterbox at 56 Lady Somerset Road has had to cope with something like, 600 pieces of post from this exercise.
Which you would think was unignorable.
And yet the address hasn't yet defaulted to Companies House like it has for their close neighbours at number 40.
And that's true, Graham. The Companies House letters will give some guidance on what to do if your address has been used in error or without your knowledge. And it's fairly straightforward to follow that guidance and get your address removed.
But in this case, it hasn't happened.
Not yet, Graham.
So maybe the house isn't currently occupied, or maybe the current occupiers, if it is, are just happy to chuck all the mail in the bin.
Or perhaps there's another explanation.
Perhaps so, Ray.
Well, I think we can leave the story there for now with that remaining hint of mystery.
Yeah, I think so.
OK, so what's next, Graham?
Well, we're both working on more instances of corporate shenanigans, so I think we'll be ready to bring one of those to light before too much longer.
I'm looking forward to it.